Hi everyone, it's Kaylee and welcome back to my channel. So today I did a thing. I broke my book bang ban. And this actually isn't just today, this was all of July. This is how many books I bought in July. What did I do? Okay, let's go through and we'll see what we got. Some of these I bought because of TikTok. Some of them I got because they're authors that I auto buy. Some of them they got because they were cheap. But let's dive right in. The first one I got is Priest by Sierra Simone. I'm not usually a dark romance girly. If you've watched my daily videos, you'll know that I am very much a rom-com girly. I have nothing against spice, but I tend to veer more towards the rom-coms. This one is very not, but I loved this discreet cover. And then I read it, and now I need to buy the rest of them. I'm planning on doing a full vlog on these after I read the entire series, but I just love it. I love discreet covers on smutty romance novels. I just love it. These and cartoon covers on smutty romance novels, chef's kiss. The next one I bought two. These are both of the original self-published copies of Heartless by Elsie Silver. These actually, I don't know when I'm posting this, but these go out of print on August 1st, which is the day I'm filming this. Amazon might still have some in stock, but they're no longer printing these covers. Now, Elsie Silver is one of my all-time favorite authors, and so I knew I was gonna have to be that girly and collect every one of her cover art. I do also intend to buy the new covers from Bloom Books once they come out too. But this book specifically went out of print in these covers on August 1st. So if you don't already have either of these covers, I love this set. I love this set. Then I double check Amazon like as fast as you can. The next is a set of three. I bought all of these. One, there is The Stand-Up Groomsman by Jackie Lau. There is Wanderlust by Elle Everhart. And there is Until I Met You by Amber Rose Gill. Now these just look like generic rom-com books. I don't know about their spice level or anything. The covers just caught my eye. I haven't read these two yet, but I have read this one. It was only okay. This one honestly might be one that I de-haul in a few months, but I don't regret reading it. I just don't ever see myself reading it again. I haven't read these two. They are now on my TBR. I'm thinking about making a TBR jar to help me pick out some new books to read in the future. If you want to see that, let me know. But for now, those are some of my generic rom-coms that I bought. The next ones I got at some really great prices. The first one is The Wall of Winnipeg by Mariana Zapata. I don't know how to pronounce her name. I have never read her, but I've heard good things about her. I'm not hugely in a sports romance phase right now. I did a lot of them when I went through and read a bunch of Al Kennedy stuff, but I've kind of gotten off of sports romance. And I'm not usually a football girly because I just don't like or understand football in real life. I usually tend to stick to hockey romances, but this one has been praised on Book Talk, and I liked this cover, and I found it at Costco for $14.99. And if you live in Canada like me, you'll know that $14.99 is a freaking good price for a book. The other cheap one I found is called Not Again by Kawana Jackson. This is a second book in a series, so I probably won't read it until I can find the first book, but I found it at the dollar store. If you live in Canada, we have a dollar store chain called Dollarama. $3 for this book. And it looked like a cute little romance why not for $3? I might make a video on all of the books, the romance books that I've found at the dollar store, because weirdly enough, if you keep checking there, you can find some good hidden gems. If you're interested in seeing all the ones that I found at the dollar store for $3 or less, let me know. The next set of books that I found start with Happenstance by Tessa Bailey, and The Nanny by Lana Ferguson, and Jana Goes Wild by Farrah Heron. Now, The Nanny by Lana Ferguson. If you have not read this book, you need to read this book. Do not let this cute little cartoon cover fool you. I loved this book. I bought this book after I'd already read it. I know that I love it. I will read it again. He is a single dad. She applies to be his nanny, but what they don't know is she used to have an OnlyFans account and he used to be one of her subscribers and used to get private videos from her. But they didn't see each other, they didn't exchange faces. They only talked and did pictures. So yeah, you can tell the spice that ensues. If you haven't read this book, I highly, highly recommend this. This is definitely a reread for me. And then I have Happenstance by Tessa Bailey. I'm a big Tessa Bailey girl usually. I like quite a few of her books. She's had a couple misses for me. My Killer Vacation, whatever, I'm talking to you. But this one is a Why Choose romance, which is usually not my forte. I'm not a huge Why Choose girly. I have nothing against it. It's just not one of my go-to genres. But I figured with Tessa Bailey, we'll see how she handled Why Choose. So I'm excited to give this one a try. I haven't read it yet, but it is on my TBR. And the next one is Jonah Goes Wild by Farrah Heron. And this one, I fell in love with the cover and I found it on my Libby account and the holds list was atrocious. And I don't know why. It looks like the cutest, rom-com ever. So I knew I had to buy it. I still haven't read it yet. I know I probably would have hit my place in my Libby's hold lineup if I'd have just waited instead of buying the book, because now unfortunately she's gonna sit on my TBR for a while, but that's life. But this one is definitely going in my TBR jar and I'm so excited. It's got animals, it's got a giraffe and an elephant. It looks so cute. I've read a short story compilation where Farrah Heron had a story in that and I really liked her story, so I'm excited to read a full-length novel by her. So yeah, that one's going in my TBR jar as well. And the very last one I bought is Fourth Wing. Fourth Wing has been out of print for a little while. Not out of print, but the original print run sold out very, very quickly. So I knew that I would probably get it. I'm not a fantasy girl. I'm gonna say it that plainly. I don't read fantasy. Sarah J. Maas, Cassandra Clare, Holly Black, whatever, all those fantasy that everybody loves, I can't get into them. I'm just not a fantasy girly. There is too much world building, too much everything, and I usually don't like it. But this has been all over Book Talk, and I knew I should at least give it a chance. And so I gave it a chance, and other than the fact that I did skim through a lot of the action sequences, I have something called aphantasia, which means that in my mind's eye, when I picture something, I see nothing. Like if most people close their eyes and picture a star, they can actually see a star in their head. I see the back of my eyelids. I cannot imagine or picture anything in my mind. I've never been able to. I honestly thought I was the norm until a few months ago when I saw TikTok on it. But so I tend to stay away from fantasy for exactly that reason, because I cannot picture these worlds and these action sequences in my head. If it's something that has like a movie, then I'm okay because obviously I'm physically seeing that. But just a fantasy book, I tend to steer clear. But I knew I wanted to try and muddle my way through it. And actually I gave myself like 2 weeks to read this book, thinking I'm just gonna read a few pages a day. That way it doesn't hurt my head. I ended up finishing it in 3 days. The story writing I found really good, and I also found the characters and the character interactions to be really good. I still do not at all understand what the place looks like where they lived. Even all the descriptions of the dragon riding school, I still do not understand it. The action sequence entirely went over my head. I kind of just skimmed it to see who won each battle, like that type of thing. But unfortunately, that's always gonna be a thing for me because I just can't picture it. If this ever gets made into a movie, then the next time I read it, I'll have a better understanding because I'll be able to, I'll have the movie images in my head already, but I wouldn't be able to conjure up new images. But I did enjoy it, and I'm probably gonna read the second one when it comes out in November, so I decided to pick up the book. I am, however, I'm weird and I have to, is anybody else like this? Do you have to reread the first book in a series like this, the books in the series, every time a new book comes out? And so because I read this in like July, when the new one comes out in November, I'm gonna completely forget like everything. I read 365 books in a year. They don't stay for very long, unfortunately. So I do have a Libby hold for the audiobook of this time. And it is narrated, don't know who the female narrator is, but there is a small part that's narrated by Teddy Hamilton. And I love Teddy Hamilton. He is one of my favorite audiobook authors. So I am really excited. I'm gonna listen to this one before the second book comes out in November. But that is my plan. But I knew I had to have it for my bookshelf because it's actually a beautiful cover. And the artwork is gorgeous. Like I love it. So this is definitely going on my trophy bookshelf. Yeah. Those were all of the books that I bought in July. I can't believe I bought so many. I'm normally an ebook and audiobook reader, so I tend to read a lot from my library and from my Overdrive and my Libby and that I tend to not buy a lot of books unless I know I'm gonna reread it. But TikTok just got me this month. It just got me. There were so many good looking recommendations, so many cute books at the bookstore. I don't even know what to tell you. Hopefully next month is better because my wallet was crying after this month. That was everything for today. Talk to you guys next week. Bye.